In 2010, total research expenditures at Ohio State were $756 million. Much of that came from the National Science Foundation. In addition to funding research, NSF is also interested in training the next generation of scientists.
This is one of the reasons why they encourage institutions, especially R1 schools like Ohio State, to put together proposals that are targeted to providing remote access for institutions that would otherwise never have the ability to interface with this type of instrumentation.
A project in Ohio State's chemistry department makes a Raman infrared microscope available remotely to undergraduate colleges. Gordon Renkes, Senior Research Associate in Chemistry, has worked with all facets of the project.
Instruments of several $100,000 are typically housed at research institutions and with graduate programs. There are several very good undergraduate research institutions, which some of them may get an instrument like this, but that's not very common among four-year colleges. So this, an instrument like this, if it's used remotely as a collaboration between a purely undergraduate institution and a research institution, can give the students exposure to an instrument which they could not see at their four-year college.
Ohio State, for instance, has partnered with some historically black colleges and universities, as well as institutions within the state of Ohio. It's also been great for just providing a way of cooperating among schools within the state of Ohio, which also is critical to thinking about how the state educates its undergraduates and graduate students, for that matter.
Researchers in Ohio State's chemistry department work with their local IT group as well as the Ohio Supercomputer Center to optimize network performance while maintaining security. In fact, for the Supercomputer Center, this was part of an Ohio Board of Regents initiative, the Remote Instrumentation and Collaboration Environment, or RICE.
Yeah, along with that RICE program and getting it to work through the firewalls, the graduate student who was working on it got a good education, I thought. He was writing a thesis on how to deal with noise levels on the whole internet, and if it's loaded down, making sure that the software doesn't ruin the instrument by not making the signal connections correctly, and something in the instrument may hit and break it.
For the chemistry department IT group, it was a common problem, but one Mike Reed, the group's leader, takes seriously.
This particular problem around being able to communicate remotely is a very simple one. It's about having the right ports open, but then also staying with the problem and facilitating a solution to it, whatever that is. And in this case, it happens to be talking to the right researchers, figuring out which ports to have open, making sure that they're open in all the right places, but also making sure that things aren't too open. Not a terribly difficult problem in and of itself, but one that it's very important to be cautious about with respect to security.
It's a more specialized issue for the Supercomputer Center, but an important one for the success of the project.
You have to be able to interact with an instrument, very quickly, and you're often dealing with, very large data files. And so how do you transmit those to another institution in a way that's timely, so that if you need to modify something, if you need to look at the data in order to understand whether, yes, this is good data, we can go on to something else, or we're done, or whether you're actually asking, whether, there's the experiment's even working. Sometimes you just need to see the data, and so you have to transfer large data files very fast. And they really do need to be secure. Okay, so, those two don't always go hand in hand very easily.
For researchers, these network issues need to be non-issues, as reliable and unobtrusive as any other utility.
It can be fun, and it's rewarding when things work, and sometimes the shared experience of that is a really positive thing for both the IT and the researchers.
And when things work, everyone benefits.
One of the reasons we've actually chosen most of those schools is because they have a population of undergraduate students who we would like to attract to graduate school. So getting them familiar with Ohio State and with the capabilities, they absolutely then can be attracted to Ohio State, and we hope to be able to draw them into our graduate programs. So that is a key advantage of being able to do that.